Well, good morning, good morning, good morning, Facebook land, Instagram, and YouTube. You have reached Lady A, and we're going to get into some great conversation today. But before we do that, I need you to do a couple things for me. If you could subscribe to my YouTube channel, it's called Lady A's Space, no apostrophe, Lady A's Space. And then you can also reach us on Facebook, Anita Smith. So just do me a favor, like and share. Let everybody know that I got the Darius Nelson online with me today. And we just thank God for technology because he can be here and he ain't got to be here. So if you don't mind, please share this and let the people know that I've got Darius the Great with me today. So, hey, we're going to get into some conversation with him today, and I'm trying to give him a couple seconds to get situated. But we're going to talk about choir tips, choir highs and lows. We're going to talk about songwriting tips. So if you're in that business and that's what's on your heart to do, you want to tune in to this live today, and because he's got some great knowledge and information nuggets. He's a wealth of knowledge, and you don't want to miss this today. So please let your choir directors, your praise team, your choir members, let them know that Darius Nelson is on the air from St. Mark in Little Rock, Arkansas. So good morning,
I can't
Mr.
hear.
Darius.
I can't. Something happened. I can't hear. I'm so sorry. Something. I touched something
yet?
and I can't hear you.
Can we make the adjustment? Whatever we need to do, CC. I'm gonna keep talking. Let me know when you can hear me. Okay. So we'll be talking about choir tips, choir decorum, choir etiquette, choir attire. We'll be talking about songwriting tips, a lot of great information that if you're in this, if God has given you this area of authority, it's going to bless your life. Can you hear me yet, Darius?
I'm back. It was the operator. I'm sorry. You know, this modern technology. I'm a little old school. I touched something. It all went wrong.
Okay. So Darius, how you doing today?
Hey, Anita, Lady A, I'm doing great. How about yourself?
I'm doing good. Either one of them work, Anita. You know, me and Darius go
we
way,
go
way back. We've been rolling together for a while. So any one of those work fine. You could even go on back to my hometown named Twinks. That's cool too.
All the way back.
You don't know nothing about that one. Huh?
I came after that one, I think.
So I thank God that he has time to come on here with me today, and I am super excited because I've watched him for years. I watched him develop as a young man, and then watching what God is doing in his life now is absolutely amazing. And so I want to just start with Darius this morning and just allow him to give you a little bit of background information about himself. I read his bio, and a lot of things that I read, I didn't even know he had done. So you're in for a great treat today. Again, like and share. Let somebody know. Choir members, praise teams, choir directors. Let somebody know that you're going to get some nuggets that are going to bless your life today. So tune in, like and share. Come on, Mr. Darius, tell us about who is Darius Nelson.
Darius Nelson is just a little country boy from a little town called Maumelle, the bottom called it, out Highway 10 in Little Rock, Arkansas. And I slid into Little Rock and started coming around Faith Temple with a good friend of mine, Dwayne Lindsay, because I grew up United Methodist, so you know we would sneak out. I grew up United Methodist. Yeah, I'm saying I'm Baptist now.
We just playing with you.
I got baptized and everything recently, so I'm saved for real. Yeah, I think so.
For real saved, yes, sir. So that's something that probably a lot of people didn't know, because I didn't even know that. That's one of the things that I was kind of blown away. I knew that you had gone to Philander Smith, and I knew it's a United Methodist-based college because I went there myself, and our paths have crossed in so many different arenas. It's really crazy. But I did not know that you were actually raised United Methodist. So tell me this. When it comes to your background, how important do you feel like that has been to mold the person that you are musically now?
I think it was extremely important that I went through the route that I went through coming through the United Methodist Church, because we, everything is kind of regimented. We did a lot of chants, a lot of hymns.
Yeah.
And now, looking back, in retrospect, that music and the knowledge of what I learned in the Methodist Church really helped me to be a better minister of music, I do believe.
Yes,
Uh,
sir. Yes, sir.
Funny story. Before I knew any of y'all, back when I was probably 13 or 14, Doug Dotson played for our church, St. Paul United Methodist Church. He was one of our,
Come on. I remember that.
yeah, he was one of the first musicians that played, that could play the gospel music, not necessarily sheet music, but he was more, a great musician. Doug's a great musician,
Yes.
always has been. So he brought the element of, the gospel feel into the Methodist Church. So I learned a lot from that experience. He wasn't that long, but, somebody that I won't ever forget. And I know he kind of introduced our church to, Douglas Miller, when everybody was singing that, every youth choir sang those old Douglas Miller songs, and Doug kind of introduced that to us. So that was kind of
Right.
my introduction to
Right.
kind of gospel music. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Then I
Yes.
started sliding over to Faith Temple with Dwayne Lindsay, where you were.
Right.
Uh,
Right. And it's so
as
crazy because again, there's another parallel because Doug and I were raised together.
right,
His mom was really instrumental in me being so passionate about youth and working with youth because that's what she did. She would come grab them up from wherever they was at, basketball court, from the park, whatever, smoking, drinking, whatever. She
listen, it's a
used to
reason for
grab us
everything.
up, y'all
Yeah,
come and sing. And so from that, Doug and I became very close, and we've been lifetime buddies. So that's another parallel. And when I met you at Greater Faith Temple, like you mentioned, Dwayne and Stevie and all of those other guys that came along with Purity and your group then, very instrumental in my life, in my ministry. They were my musicians. And so another
yeah,
parallel. So yeah, this time together is real, real meaningful and touches my heart.
absolutely.
So
To me too. And
yes,
before I knew of Tremaine Hawkins or Kim McFarland, there was an Audrey. Audrey came down to lead a song one Sunday with Doug, and I'm like, this woman is singing like this, and it was a whole different kind of feeling because, the vibe was just completely different for the United Methodist Church at that
yeah,
time.
yeah.
So, we've got so many Belva. I can think of so many people that I was like, these people are singing on a different level that I've ever heard. So I'm like, what is really
Right,
going on? But
right,
it was an
right.
awesome experience to come
Yes,
up through those
yes,
ranks. And I think when Faith Temple recorded that album they did with Sister Lindsay led that Try God, that was probably my first recording, to ever be a part of.
is
On
that right?
Absolutely, singing,
Wow.
trying to sing tenor, because I ain't never really been able to hit them tenor notes. I was back there faking and shaking, but I was back there.
Say I was up in there anyway, huh?
But it was so helpful to me. And I just, and I'm grateful to you and for you opening the doors, because there was no, you don't go to this church, you can't sing with us. It wasn't, that was never the vibe that I received from you or anybody.
Yes,
So I thank God for that opportunity,
yes,
because it kind of paved the way for where I am to what I'm doing now. So I'm
yes,
grateful. I really appreciate
yes.
it.
And I think it's so important. You really brought out a really important point, and I think that it's not done enough, and that is simply saying thank you. That when we have come in on the shoulders of other people and people have been impactful in our lives, it's so important that we just stop for a moment and say, hey, I appreciate that. You know what I'm
I
saying?
do. Yeah,
I've
absolutely.
given kudos to many musicians that have touched my life. The Harold Ways, the Gerald Thompsons. I can go on and on and on. About people that have impacted my life. And even though you're gifted and you're talented, how many know we still need people to impart into our lives to get us to our next level and get us propel us. Listen, I remember even getting kicked off the piano a couple of times. That helped me. It blessed me.
You
I
got
was mad
shame,
and
but it,
fried, but listen, it helped me to build up my game, to
right,
come back with a little
right,
stronger game. So,
right.
all those things are helpful. And I think we need to stop every once in a while and tell people, like, even Pastor Lindsay and Sister Lindsay, those people, I go
Mhm.
back and say thank you on a regular because I am
Absolutely.
indeed grateful for what they imparted into my life. So thank you for that. I
Absolutely.
appreciate that.
I'll,
Yeah,
I'll never
we need to do
forget
it
it.
more often.
I think that, So many people have forgotten about the shoulders on which we stand on. If it weren't
Yes.
for them, we wouldn't know what we know. We couldn't do what we do. You know,
Yes.
Sonny Kelly's, the Leonard Gibbons,
Oh my God.
so many, Cedric Hayes. You know, I was watching the
Yes.
people. You know, and they helped me become what I am today. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
You took the good notes. You watched out for the bad notes, and then you tried to be better and
Yes.
to have the same type of impact that they had
Yes.
on me. I really
Right.
appreciate it. And Gerald
Right.
Thompson, you know, nobody, we can't, if you're in Little Rock, you can't say you didn't know about what Gerald did at Greater Paradise. It was, you know, it was second.
Right.
So I'm grateful for that opportunity and for seeing all of
Right.
the giants come to
Right.
Little Rock.
Yes, sir. Yes, I mean, the list could go on, and maybe we need to make a list and just,
Yeah. A
say
couple of
thank you
days,
one day.
Cedric
Yeah.
Hayes he made a list. I mean, it was Danny Jones. It was a
I
great
saw
list.
that. I saw that. That was really cool. I liked it a
Yeah,
lot. Danny
absolutely.
Jones was amazing.
Yeah, the three
Yeah.
notes that I can play, Danny taught me those, and I appreciate Danny for that. I do, I really do, because I can't play. It's okay, but
You said the three that I got, he showed
he
me.
showed them to me. He showed them to me.
Yes,
So
sir.
great,
Yeah. He was
great.
quite the maestro for sure. For sure. So St. Mark, you went from and something else that I read about you that I didn't know is that you were a social worker before becoming a minister of music at St. Mark. And immediately when I saw that you did social work, I was thinking about the climate of our nation right now and where we are mentally and emotionally.
Hmm.
It's crazy. My pastor was saying the other day that people are just on edge, just anything just make you snap and just, go off. And, because our country is really on edge. Um, what do you recommend as a musician, as a social worker, as a minister? What do you recommend for just this is just a little ministry moment for someone that may be dealing with mental and emotional woes at this time?
I think it's most important that we just stay connected to the Father,
Yes, sir.
and remember that it looks bad, but He is our source. He is our healer.
Yes.
He's our provider. He's everything that we need Him to be. And
Yes, sir.
when we turn our trust and our faith and we shine back on that and glean from that, it's not that big of a deal because we people have been through far worse than what we're going through right.
You're right about it.
You
Yes,
know,
sir.
I say all the time. I say we are, we've gone through this pandemic, but God has given us everything that we need.
Absolutely.
We don't. Sometimes we probably needed to stop doing some of the stuff that we were doing,
You
gathering,
know what I'm
gathering.
saying?
You know what I'm saying? So it's almost like it's been a time for us to restart and to refresh and to
Yes.
recharge because we can get so locked into the mundane and making things. We got to do this and we got to meet up and do that, and you don't really have to do all of that stuff.
Yes. One
But
of
I
the things that I've
people
noticed. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
go ahead, go ahead.
No, one of the things that I've noticed is that I was just talking to a lady Saturday. She was selling some tamales, and she said she had kind of tapped in to that area of creativity and just being resourceful because of the pandemic.
Doing
And I know for me, I started a t-shirt business, and I'm making crafts, and I'm doing some of the things that were in me all along that I've been wanting to do, but the pandemic said, okay, it's time to get it done.
now you got talent.
So it's really forced us and kind of pushed us and propelled us into a whole nother level of creativity, which I think is phenomenal. I do. And so a
Absolutely,
lot of good has come out of the pandemic. Like you said, God is ultimately our source. And
he
so
is.
we don't really have a whole lot to worry about.
I kid with my choir members. I say, all the ones that say, I'm sick of we rehearse so much, and I just need a break sometime. Now they're dying to come back to rehearsal. Now you miss. That has given us a longing to be back together
Yes.
again, and that's
Yes.
I think that's been a very important element that
Right.
we take it for granted that we can come together
You
and we can
see what I'm
sing
saying?
and we ain't got to be worried about putting on the mat. We could sing and we didn't have to put a mask on. We could be close. We could hug. And now those things have been taken away from us, so we feel a certain kind of way about it. So we have a greater appreciation. Whenever we get
Yes.
back to it, I think we'll have a greater appreciation for all of it.
Oh my God, you said a mouthful with that.
Yeah.
Said a mouthful. We do tend to take things for granted, but thank God he's letting us know how to appreciate it.
Thank him.
Um, Another thing I wanted to talk about concerning you is your tenure at St. Mark, and I know you've been there for quite a while. Another parallel that we have is this is the first church that I was actually a minister of music at. Honestly, I didn't even know what a minister of music was. when Maurice Watson asked me to be his minister of music, I was like, what is that?
Mm-hmm.
And didn't even know really that I had the ability and the talent to do it. So again, hats off to people that will push you and propel you into your purpose and your destiny. And so being in that position, I learned that, okay, I could be pretty good at this, you know. And
Mm-hmm.
so now you're there. You've been there since what, 20, what?
This is my 21st year. I started in 1999. I started
Get
New
out
Year's
of
Eve,
here. I did not
1999.
know it was that long. I knew you had been there for some years though. But when I tell you, you have done phenomenal. And I've told you this personally, but I'm saying it publicly. You have done a phenomenal job. That choir is, I'm talking about A1.
To God be the
I
glory.
would stand them up against anything, anybody, anywhere. I mean, as far as, I mean, they just on point from their head to their toe, to the tones, to the musicians, everything. And I know that that kind of sound, that type of presentation, does not come uh, without some hard work, without a
Absolutely.
whole lot of preparation.
Absolutely.
So, um, tell me, in your time of since you've been at St. Mark, tell me some of your highs and some of your lows. You don't have to be specific, but what are some of the difficulties that you've had to work through as a minister of music? And hats off to you being somewhere for 21 years.
Yeah,
That's amazing in itself.
that's amazing. I tell people all the time, I say, to be at a church for that long in this present age, it's almost unheard of.
You're exactly right.
So I thank God for his grace and mercy in that.
Yes.
Of course, some of my lows have been, of course, we had the transition of our pastors. I got to give
Uh-huh.
and credit to Stephen Arnold for giving me an opportunity. Uh,
Yes.
he saw something in me that I did not see, and I'll be forever grateful to him for entrusting me with. He's the kind of person that will shake up things for the better. He
Yeah.
shook up
Most
some.
definitely.
I have to thank Tabby Hampton for being gracious to let me come in, and he would let me direct. He would let me teach songs. We lost him maybe a year or so ago, but Tabby was a great musician,
Awesome.
minister of music here for many, many, many years. And,
Yes.
and people think it was, somebody came in and we didn't like each other, and that was never the case. But when Bishop Arnold saw something in me that helped us make it better.
Yes.
We begin to work together to make it better. Because I can't, like I said, I can't. I'm not a keyboardist. I can't play. I often start in the wrong key, so I got issues. But God is good. Uh,
That
but
is.
but I know what sounds right, and I know what it looks right, and I know when it is right. And I thank God
Yeah.
for the ability to know those things. Of course, so when he left, that and we got a new, and we for a while we were without a pastor. So then the music department became, God pushed us into a place where we went into some heavy worship, some heavy praise, and we really pulled on God to sustain us.
Yes.
And he did just that. He took me places in worship that I had never gone before. I'm kind of low key. I ain't trying to be all emotional. I don't want y'all to see me out of myself, but but
Oh God.
when you know that God is leading you, and God, you don't care if you cry, you don't care if you lose yourself, and so
Yes.
I'm so grateful for those opportunities and for those moments. We were heading in that direction prior to Bishop leaving, but it came ever more present that I needed to make God my source, and so I began to just
Yes,
cry.
sir.
I need you to help me do this because I don't know what I'm doing. I'm not, I didn't feel like I was equipped. I like you. My voice is different. I got a different kind of voice. I couldn't sing like everybody else. I couldn't.
Yes, I know
I,
about that.
I kind of felt like, is there something wrong with it? Do people like it? Do they not like it? Some people did, some people didn't. But I had to understand that it was what God had given me, and it was my job to utilize it to the best of my ability.
Right.
So I'm grateful that
Right.
I'm grateful that I'm not like, when you hear me, it's me. When I hear you, I know it's you. I appreciate
Yeah.
God. I don't want to sound like the rest of them because
There you go.
so I understand it now. But so those are probably some of my lowest moments. and just a transition and trying to get people to like you and to stay committed to you. But I learned that you have to be committed first. You got
That's
to
it.
you got to come to rehearsal. You got, when you say you're going to be there, you need to be there as a leader, because people glean from what you're doing. They pull
That's
from
right.
what you put in. So when I began to put in the work, I could hear the sound changing. I could see the look changing, and people could, they didn't understand. Well, why you want us to have this, put this on and look? I said because when people see you first,
Come on. That's my mama right there. They see you before they hear you. Come on.
before you crack your mouth open, they see you
That's
first.
right.
Then they hear you, and then they decide whether or not they're gonna receive what you putting out. They're gonna say, "Oh,
Right.
that's pretty good," And back in the day when there was a four church fellowship,
Yes, God.
we don't people don't and I'm very transparent, and if you know me, I'm just gonna say it like it is. It was always like it was an unspoken like competition, like who gonna kill
Right.
tonight,
Who
you
gon'
know,
who gonna get it?
who gonna get it tonight. So and it was a hierarchy. Who we all knew, we knew what choir was the top, the next, and then who was on the bottom. And so I was like, there's a time for us to be the best we can be. It's not about
Yes.
competition. Even when I would talk with the sound, they would. My choir was like, "Well, what we gonna do? How we gonna move?" I said, I ain't got no rhythm, so I'm not gonna be dancing and doing none of that. So we're gonna do what we do on Sunday morning, and if they don't receive it, that's fine. I said, but I'm not gonna put on any airs for anybody.
Right.
And if they don't
Be
receive
something
our
that
presence,
you're not.
I was not gonna do that. So I
Right.
said, y'all don't want us. This is what we do. I'm not gonna turn no flips. We're not gonna take our robes off and drop down to the floor. I said, because some of y'all can't get back up. So we're not gonna do. But we just,
Right.
just want to be regular, and I've always wanted the music to be the motivator, and the way the presentation to be the motivator for the movement of what
Yes.
happened in the worship experience. So
Yes.
this is where I come from with that.
Yes. Well, you hit on a very important point, and I think that when it comes to gospel music in particular, and I know that there's competition in other genres, but in particular in gospel music, because we are serving one true God,
Mm-hmm.
we ought to be able to be ourselves and be accepted as you are. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely, absolutely.
And I think all too often is that we alter who we really are, trying to fit some kind of mold and fit some type of, this is what they say you're supposed to sound like.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, hey, this is what it is. You can like it, you can receive it. I hope it blesses you. But if it don't, one thing I do know is that you're not everybody's reward, but you're somebody's
Absolutely,
reward. You know what I'm
absolutely.
saying? And so it's best, and when I really began to look at myself and my gift and all of that, trying to figure out, well, God, why did you? God knows best.
You
He
know, it's
knows
fair.
who He wanted you to reach. He knows how He wanted you to reach Him. And so we have to settle in that this is what He gave me. Let me make the best of what He gave me. And
Mm-hmm.
so I think it's very important what you said, even as choirs and groups, have your own identity. We don't need another Ricky Diller. We got one.
We
Let's
got
just
one.
move on, and you do you. You know what I'm
And
saying?
then, and
There's
then
something that sets you apart from the Ricky Dillers, from the Hezekiah.
mm-hmm.
And whereas they're even gonna take note to this guy's different. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? And so I really appreciate that coming from you. And I think it's a point that is not really pressed as often as it needs to be, is that you need to just be yourself.
Be yourself.
Be the best version of your authentic self that you can be.
Yeah, people are, especially in this age where we're going through, people want to see realness. They want you to
Exactly.
be, I'm not about a performance. If you're gonna perform, I go to the Robinsons for a performance. But when I
Come
come to
on.
church, I just want you to be as real as possible, and let the Lord use you the way that He can use you.
Right. Right. That's it. Well, what do you think as it relates to that was one of the things that I was going to talk to you about, is about comparison, and how we, as artists, we tend to compare. And I think that's probably uh, just the human side of us to say,
Yeah.
oh, well, that's better or that's worse, and that was trash, and that was on his ankles, and
Mhm.
that's just the human side of us. But when you're looking at the ministry side, the ministerial side of it, what would you say to someone that is in that whole competitive vibe, you know, just wanting to compete and just be the best in that sense.
Well, I think that, people ought to want to put their best foot forward for Jesus Christ.
Right.
Um, when people, my wife took me to see Beyonce, to a Beyonce concert, and when I tell you they don't half step, they don't miss steps, they don't walk up there holding babies in the choir stage. The presentation is one that is second to none.
Yes.
So if I'm doing a presentation for somebody that provides me breath in my body, he provides me mental health. He
Wow.
provides me food to eat. He provides shelter for me. He provides finances. He provides a job for me that I work at, which I don't have a degree for. That I work,
Wow.
and I'm
Speaking
working.
of which, that you're the, I think you're the only full-time minister of music in an African American church in Arkansas. Is that right? At one time you
At,
were.
at first, I was the
Okay.
first praise and worship leader that was full time.
Okay, gotcha.
And though that was back in 2000, so there are many of them now. But I don't know
Okay, great.
full time, but I know that there are many staffed musician worship leaders.
Yes.
Um, so I just think that our presentation ought to be the best. You know,
Yes.
um, you know, people say, well, if they can sing a little bit, they ought to be able to. So the people in the back can be saying, what was they thinking about today? They sound. I got one of my crowd members say, he said, today y'all sounded like the rest. Y'all didn't sound like the best. Y'all sounded like the rest. And so I'm like, it is funny, but you don't have opportunities in the worship experience to be sounding like the rest.
Right.
People are depressed. They don't want to go home to their wives or their husbands. Their children are acting crazy. And when they come
Yeah.
to church, they need something. They might not look
Yes.
like it, but they
Yeah.
need
That's
something.
why they mounted up and came. They
That's
needed
why
something.
they needed
Yeah.
something. So
They sometimes don't even know they need something.
they don't even know that they need
Yeah.
it. And so it's our job to do our best to make sure that they get what they need.
Yeah.
So when we're giving our best to God, you don't know how people can pull from what you're doing, and you don't even know. It was like that wasn't really for you, but they got what they needed because you got what you needed.
Right.
So I'm like,
Right.
let's give God our best, y'all. When I said I go to these colleges and I do workshops, and these people they crack their mouths open like this right here. I said, ain't nothing coming out your mouth, baby. Open your mouth up. If you're gonna be up here singing, open your mouth.
Yes.
This is what we do. We sing back here. Now, if you want to be on the usher board, I'm in the choir room now. We sing back here. So if you come back here to my rehearsal, oftentimes I pull soprano, alto, and a tenor, and I call it pooling. That's what I learned at the line of Virginia.
Uh-huh.
And I make them sing the part that I just taught them. And a lot of times somebody will jump up on somebody else's note, or I said, so what are you gonna do if Sheila doesn't come and you standing next to Sheila, you singing her part? What are you gonna do if she's not there?
If she ain't there, right. You better know your stuff.
Right. So we're gonna be in a mess. And we have, and I said, and sometimes I said we will be in a situation where you won't have no help. So
Right.
I'm gonna need for you to know your part. And we have been. And one thing about me, Pops, I don't like to be shamed. I don't want to be shamed. Pops say, don't get up there and tell y'all's draws. That's what he used. And that is just being shamed because you're not prepared. So you don't.
Right.
I need for you to,
Right.
let's just give God our very best in our presentations. I think
Yes.
He deserves it, and I think that.
Absolutely.
And if you say you called to do this, let's put our best foot forward.
Right. And I mean, let's face it, everybody does not necessarily have the budget to be on certain levels, but what you
Mhm.
have, you can do your best with what you got.
You can do your best with what you
Do
got.
your best with what you got. And I wanted to just address. We got some people online. I wanted to make sure that you address them. We got Eugene Whitmore says, "Good morning, good people. Blessings, great people." D. Smith from Fort Smith says, "A greater appreciation," and she said, "Amen" to something. Tina Knight says, "For Trailblazers." She was talking about the Trailblazers.
Faith Temple,
Yeah.
Faith Temple
So and then
Trailblazer.
CC Davidson said she commented smiley face about you saying about folks holding babies coming on the in the choir stand. Man,
Yeah,
we've seen it all. We've seen
we've
it
seen it all.
all. We've seen it all.
And
But
then,
one of the things that I truly admire about St. Mark's Choir is there you all are not gonna stand up unless you are in proper attire. And I appreciate that coming from the background that I came from. My mama, was kind of like your people. People see you before they hear you. Put on some foundation, do a hallelujah check at the house. You know what I'm saying? Don't come up here shaking and jiggling all over the place. Those things are distracting,
it is.
and I think that we have, because we've gotten somewhat of freedom and liberty to kind of wear our jeans and things like that. You can still be trendy, but you ain't got to be sloppy. You
That's
know
right.
what I'm saying?
That's
And
right.
so I really appreciate your presentation, not just musically, but even the way you guys look. You're always on point. The guys are always on point, even if you're dressed down, y'all together. And I think that really is a great testimony and example to other choirs and groups that are coming on. Some of the younger generation. I think that not even just I don't even want to put it on the younger folks. I want to say some of these older folks too. We really need to go back and check. Am I really representing God? Is this worship worthy? Am I really representing the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords in what I have on? I'm telling you, there's been many mornings when I got dressed and the Holy Ghost said, "That ain't it. Let's try again." You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I appreciate that, and I really wanted to bring that point out because when you guys stand up, you're on point in every way, and that speaks a lot to the time and the presentation, because I know that you don't just happen upon that kind of presentation. There has to be some preparation in the background to get them to that point. You've had to order stuff way ahead of time. I've even hit you up to, dress my choirs or groups or whatever, because I really respect you and I respect the way that you present your choir.
Well, a lot
It's
of times,
great that you sound great musically, but what are we looking like too? So I
yeah,
think that that's something that we need to go back as choirs, as group praise teams. We need to go back. There's nothing wrong with some traditions. We ain't got to be fully robed.
yeah,
We ain't got to have on the regalia, but we do need to look decent.
yeah.
We do.
A lot of times I used to get kickback from the choir, but I was like, because you got some people that are size 2, and then you got some people that are size 42. So you have to fill them spaces in.
Yes.
But I said you don't like the dress, but when you sit up there together, it's not about one just looking at one person. You're looking at the entire group. So when you're uniformed, nobody stands out.
Right.
Everybody looks the same.
We
And
look
just
the
like
same.
with school uniforms, sometimes like the demographic of people that are in my church are from doctors to people that don't have jobs, single mothers. So
Yes.
they can't purchase a uniform. Maybe they can't
Right.
have a different outfit every Sunday. So I purchase these uniforms, and that's what they wear. And we just and that way it cuts out the middleman. Ain't nobody trying to outshine nobody. We all
Right.
level,
Right.
same
Then
place.
that blesses me. You got some more people that chimed in. You got D Leon. What's up? I think that's Delisa. No, 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 no. I think that's my friend D from that's Delisa's brother. Okay. Then my sister Carrie tuned in. She said, "Amen, honey." And then
There you
somebody said, "Why don't the saints?" This D says, "Is why don't the saints wear foundational garments anymore?" Oh Lord. Well, we
because
gonna
they don't think
pray.
that they have to. They don't think that they have to, and then a lot of these girls don't have mothers that have taught them. That you got to think about it. So we're in a generation where you don't necessarily have a mama or a big mama to say, "Hey, you need to
Right.
put a slip on. You too big for that. That's the wrong size." People
Right.
think because it's got a extra large and you can fit it, you're supposed to wear it. That's not how that works. It don't
Right.
work.
And what are some of the attire issues that you run into with males?
Well, now the guys are having they like to wear these skinny pants, and those it's a distraction. I tell people, even your bra, if you don't have everything together, it's a distraction for people. And
Right.
I said, a lot of times I said, well, I don't feel like I should have to tell people that, but I'm looking at you. I'm looking at what you look like. So I'm standing in front of you, and I see what the audience sees.
Right.
So You got to be mindful of that. All of those things, they can't get into the music because you jumping up and down, and you took them,
Flipping and flopping,
you didn't put them
tossing
right
and turning.
here. Yeah, you know.
Yes, sir. Well, I'll tell you what, I think that, like you said, that's something that we need to go back and revisit. And we don't need to revisit, we need to stay. On some stuff, we just need to just park and stay,
He said, "What is a slip?" That's the problem right there, brother. Now they want you to see through their clothes. So I'm like, but you can't. You're not thinking about Jesus. You're thinking about other things. That's why it's
You see
important.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Nate, what is your pet peeve as far as choir etiquette?
One of my pet peeves is when you close, when you standing with your arms folded, you're not. People can't receive from you. I say if somebody wants to kiss you and you got your face turned, that's not a good. That you're not looking inviting. I said people are looking to you for some type of encouragement. Even the person on the back row of the choir stand, somebody is looking at
That's
you.
right.
They said, well, the praise team out front, they're not just looking at the praise team. They're looking at, if you back there, standing back there, they are looking at you. Somebody is looking at you. So make sure that you look like you are glad to be in the service one more time.
Right.
That's one of
One
my biggest pet peeves. That's one of my biggest. I'm like, you got to look like, even if you're not the best singer. I got one girl. I call her my dancer, but I said, I need your energy.
Yes.
I need your energy.
Yes.
Not gonna give me no energy. At least you are giving me some energy. You might not be singing. You give me some energy up here. So
that's right.
those are the types of things that you need in the choir. You need people that are going to be, you everybody had that person in the choir that you love to see sing because they're putting it all into it. They're giving you everything that they got, and it makes you feel like you've been to church.
Yes.
And so I just think that those are important things. If you're going to be out front, if you want to wrap your arms up, that's what they do on the usher board. You can stand back that way. Nobody ain't got to,
Get you a black skirt and a white shirt and go
and a
on
white top
now.
and hold the gloves and hold one arm behind your back. And but when you get this question, be welcoming. That's all. That's one of my pet peeves. I've gotten into some problems with that because I just can't. I've taken people and pull their arms down because I'm like, you on the front row and you up here like you don't want to be here. And if you don't, do me a favor and go on and sit down. That's just one of my biggest pet peeves.
Yes. This brother and D is he's also a minister of music. He said one of his pet peeves is seeing musicians and singers seeing one another as separate entities.
Right.
Yeah, we should be one unit. We really should flow as one.
We should be one unit. We work together, and sometimes, we don't all hang out together.
Go ahead.
We don't all hang out together, and we don't all, we don't all like the same things. But when we get up to do that music, we are one unit.
That's right.
We got to work together. The musicians can't be that way, and the choir going a different direction. We've all got to be traveling down the same highway.
Yes. Now, I know that you are a great songwriter as well. Give us what would be your number one songwriting tip for aspiring songwriters?
Well, I'm not going to say I'm the greatest, but thank you, Anita. I appreciate that. I think that if you're writing songs for choirs, especially in this day and time, there's so much instrumentation. I mean, my musicians get on me a lot because I like to keep it simple. I say because if you do all of this instrumentation, these churches that ain't got nothing but a keyboard player and a drummer or no drummer, there's no way they can reproduce it.
That's right.
But when you get songs like "God Is Keeping Me,"
come on,
everybody can sing, you got a hit. Those are hits.
Yes, sir.
A song like, "Oh How Precious," that's a hit because everybody's church choir can sing it. Right. You writing these songs, got all the fourth and the ninth, and in all these different harmonies, and people can't reproduce that. And I tell people, I'm an average listener.
Yes.
I hear all of these special notes, but I do hear pure harmony. I do hear that. And I said, and most people, the average listener, that's what they hear. They don't hear all of this other special stuff, which is great. I'm not knocking it. But
Yeah.
when you're really trying to get something, it's amazing to me how Luther Barnes keeps a hit on the radio. You know
I
why?
mean, keeps them. Simple as tea, but he keeps a
He
hit.
he keeps a hit on the radio.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you can take all you got to do is just listen to those people like that have been from um, what is the song he used to sing? God has always stood by. Is it his song? God has always stood by my side. No, that's
Oh
true.
yeah. God is always. Yeah. Yeah.
But what I'm saying is Luther Barnes has been a staple in the church all my
Consistent.
all
Yes.
pretty much since I've been along able to hear and know that this is somebody's song. He has been that way, and he still got
Yes.
radio. He got new stuff on the radio today. But if you listen to it, it's simple. It's simple,
And
just like
solid.
and solid,
Yeah.
just like praise and worship. I tell people, I'm at a Baptist church, so a lot of things that are CCMC or the new Christian music, it's not gonna necessarily work here. Some people
Yeah.
like it. I said, but
Yeah.
it's like cake. Everybody doesn't like chocolate cake. Everybody
Yeah.
doesn't like,
Yeah.
sour cream cake. So
Yeah.
I gotta go back and reach. I gotta pull some old stuff. I gotta pull
Yes.
some Jonathan McReynolds. I got to mix all of that stuff together so that I can feed all of these different people that are coming into this church.
Right. Right. So you have to know your audience, your environment. What who are
Absolutely.
you trying to minister to? When
Right.
you're writing, who are you trying to reach? And
Yeah.
so I appreciate that. And keeping it simple. I
That's
think
that.
that sometimes they take too much time and try to make it difficult when God is giving you something simple to reach the people. And
But
most times, I remember I remember one time my mother, I took her to see, you know who Jason Crabb is?
yeah, absolutely.
Okay,
Great.
I took her to see Jason Crabb, and she had my CD in the car on the way there. On the way back, she took mine out and put Jason Crabb in. Well, that was a lesson to me because Jason Crabb is very simple. I mean,
Mhm,
amazing artist,
mhm.
but very simple. And so it was a lesson for me to know that okay,
Yeah.
if I can't reach Mama Nim and Baby Nim, you know what I'm saying? The simple things are what's gonna do it. So I appreciate you saying that.
Yeah. I just believe in it. And I think that even with worship, a lot of wordy songs, people they can't retain it. They don't have anything to go back to. You know,
Yeah.
some of the songs don't have choruses. They just have a verse. Then you go to another verse, and then the chorus is somewhere lost in those verses. I think for our church, for the Black church, you got to say some things over again. You got to say
Yeah.
over again. You got to so those are elements. And during worship, I think that I don't think people should just be standing there looking. They ought to be able to sing along with us.
Right.
That's what to me. That's what praise and worship is. If I've gone to too many different verses, they can never catch me.
Yes.
So I do
Yes.
sometimes I'll do things. They say, well,
Thank you, D.
why are we singing the same song? I said because I want the people to learn it. I want the people to learn the song. I know you
Right.
know, but I need for the people to learn the song so that they can carry that when things get rough during the week. They can go back and pull up. You are my strength.
Yes.
Strength like no other. But if I'm changing, if I got 10 different verses, I'm gonna lose it in translation somewhere.
You're right about that. Such wisdom and such great nuggets. Man, and I wish we could go on and on, but I gotta ask you to just sing a little something for the people to hear this silky smooth voice. Uh, just give them a little something. It can be a love song, worship song, hymn, whatever God puts on your heart. But I want them to hear something and just be blessed by your gift.
Um, need to get me. I'll be back into my wedding singer mode. But love has truly been good to me. Not even one sad day or minute. See, I don't even know the words. I can't even remember the words. But that's what I used to do back when I was before I
Sang.
turned
Somebody
50.
said, "Sang, Bishop."
Before I got turned 50, I used to get remember words, but they won't stay with me like they used to.
Let me see. I some song you sang. Oh, it was a wedding song you sang some years ago, and I can. Oh, I should have wrote it down when I thought of it this morning. I was gonna ask you about it. Seemed like it was. Do you sing the Lionel Richie?
Endless
Is
love.
it Endless Love? Yeah. Do you sing that?
Oh yeah, I used to sing that.
I think that was
Yeah,
it. Go
yeah.
on, give us a bar of that. Do you
Uh,
remember the words?
there's only you in my life, the only thing that's right. My first love,
Mm-hmm.
your every breath that I take, your every step I make. But all that stuff can be directed to King Jesus. And
You see what I'm saying?
I, I want to share all my love with you.
Yes, sir.
No one else will do. Yeah, and your eyes, all of that stuff we used to do back in the day. You done got me back
Okay, now the
ready
one,
to.
this is the I do remember this one because I was at your church on one Sunday morning. I think it was sometime during some kind of function y'all were having, and I happened to be there that week. But you sang the Todd Galbraith, "You've Been Good."
Hmm. You got your
Sing
keyboard
that
there.
one, and then we gonna let the
You got
they
your keyboard.
saying yes, sir. The people said they being blessed.
Lord, you are good. You've been so good. Lord, you are good. You've been better than good. I can't praise you enough. I owe you my life. Can't praise you enough. Even if I tried, Lord, you've been so good to
Yes, sir.
me.
Woo!
Lord have mercy.
D says that's one of her favorite songs. She loves that song, Lord, You Are Good. And
Listen up.
I really appreciate you, Darius, so much. I believe that you're a gift to the body, and you've blessed my life. And just watching the growth and what God is doing in your life, it blesses many, me included. And I just wanted to tell you thank you. I wanted to start this IKC off with a bang, and I couldn't think of anybody greater to do that than you. And I just want to thank you for your time today. Thank you for blessing the people. I pray that these nuggets, y'all take these nuggets and implement them at your churches, in your groups and choirs. And I promise you, they're going to bless your life and your ministry as well. Is there anything that you want to say in closing, Darius?
Just thank you, Anita, for thinking enough of me. I appreciate it. It's always good to be remembered, and I
Yes.
appreciate that. And I thank you for all that you've done, all that you've given to the gospel community. It doesn't go unnoticed. One of my favorite songs, and I can play a little bit of it, is "Thou Shalt Be Saved." That's a hit. Nita wrote a song called "Thou Shalt Be Saved."
And you know, I don't even remember it.
Thou shalt be saved. Believe in your heart. You'll know that. Confess
Listen,
with
I
your mouth.
need to call you and then see can I get it because I don't remember it.
Listen, that's a great invitational. So thank you for what you've done. Don't
Wow.
stop doing what you're doing. God's got greater things in store for you. And God bless.
Thank you so much. Thank you again for this time. And you guys, please like and share. And I wanted, one other thing before we close out, that I have CDs available. We have some digital stuff available on all of the digital outlets. Lady Anita Smith, ANITTA. And Darius, tell us how we can get your product as well.
The same mark. It's called the Same Mark Experience. It is on iTunes and all the streaming outlets. But you have to type in the Same Mark Experience. But it'll pop right up, and we appreciate your support. Just go give it a listen.
Okay. Amen. Go download the stuff, guys, and guys, and let it bless your lives. And again, thank you so much. Like this, share it with somebody. I'm telling you, people need to hear these nuggets that have gone forth today. So again, thank you so much for tuning in to Lady A's Space. And we'll be right back at you next Tuesday. And matter of fact, I think we got somebody else great, and I can't share it right now. But I'll let you know before Tuesday who it is. It's gonna bless you too. But thank you guys. You guys have an awesome day. I love you with the love of the Lord. Be blessed today. Thank you, Darius.
Thank
Bye
you.
bye.